Hi everybody, welcome to Healthline. I am Gregory Zarian. So summer is here. Okay, how much fun are you having? Are you spending time outside with your friends? The clothes have changed. You're now in shorts and t-shirts, and the jackets are away, and you're in no more big bulky sweaters. You're outside. You're one with nature. You are living the life. The entire episode is all about summer and what you need to know about you, your health and wellness during the summer season, and also share with you some great tips on what you need in the first aid kit. What if you get a sunburn? What SPF do you need on your lips if you go to a festival? And here's a question. If you spend the day swimming in the pool, do you need to drink a lot of water even though you're wet? I'm going to share with you those answers, but before we dive into that, you've probably already noticed Glendale Adventist Medical Center has a new look and also a new name. Did you notice that Glendale Adventist Medical Center, GAMC, is part of a 20-hospital system called Adventist Health in California, Oregon, Washington, and the Aloha State, Hawaii? GAMC's new name will be Adventist Health Glendale. Pass it on to your friends. Look for our new look. But just know that even though our look may be changing and our name is shifted a bit, our intention for whole person care has not changed at all. From Healthline to who we are on the web, to who we are in the community, to who we are in a conversation, it's all about you and letting you live and helping you live the healthiest you. So please be on the lookout for that. Okay, so summer's here. And sometimes there's accidents. Sometimes you go to urgent care, the emergency room. What do you need to know? What don't you need to know? Joining us from Glendale Adventist Medical Center is Dr. David Lee, superstar to family medicine. How are you, doctor?
Good. How are you?
So great. Doctor, before we talk about what we need to know about summer health and wellness, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so, I'm actually originally from Michigan, so
Okay.
I'm a family practice physician right now. Did my training at Michigan State University, finished my undergraduate training there, ended up staying there for another 4 years doing medical school there. And then I stayed in the Metro Detroit area doing a family practice residency with the Henry Ford Health System.
And what brought you to Glendale?
It's really the weather and the people, and it was a great opportunity to come out here. Haven't looked back. So.
You haven't looked, but you still miss your background of, hi Detroit, hello Michigan. We're great to have you. It's your first time here.
Thank you very much.
Summer's here, and a lot of people end up in the emergency room and urgent care. Doctor, what's the difference between urgent care and the emergency room?
Yeah, so the urgent care can be considered more of, can take care of basic medical illnesses.
Okay, so when you say basic medical illness, and we're looking at summer, so we're talking about scratches, burns, overheating, stuff like that?
Exactly, yep. And a lot of other things as well, so cough, sore throats,
Okay.
allergies, skin rashes.
So would you say more of like a quick fix something?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, and then emergency room is more...
Yeah, the emergency room typically has a little bit more resources. So if you need further imaging, they'd have CT scans or further lab testing that can be done over there that an urgent care wouldn't be able to do.
So if you go to an urgent care and you need CT scans and lab testing and stuff, they'll then send you to an emergency room.
Exactly.
Doctor, before we head off into our first break, what is the #1 culprit of people ending up in the urgent care room during the summer?
It's probably more sports-related injuries. So
Okay.
we see a lot of strains and sprains, a lot of broken bones.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of breaks. Okay, do you see more kids or adults with broken bones during the summer season?
Probably more kids, although there are a lot of adults that come in with strains and kind of sports-related injuries as well.
Perfect. Okay, so summer's here. We're going to share with you everything you need to know to not end up at urgent care or in the emergency room. More when we come back. Don't go away. Welcome back to Healthline. I am Gregory Zarian. GAMC, soon to be known as Adventist Health Glendale, was recently awarded its 5th, not 4th, 5th consecutive A hospital safety score from patient safety organization, the Leapfrog Group. Congratulations, Adventist Health Glendale. And as I said earlier, new look, new name, same mission. It's all about you, whole person care. and having you become the healthiest you can be. And that's why we're here at Healthline, to pass on all the information we can, so that if you're not at the hospital or you're with friends and family and something happens, you can pass on some of the information that you learn here and go, hey, wait a minute, I learned that on Healthline with the really good-looking host, Gregory Zarian. Okay, joining us from Glendale Adventist Medical Center Family Practice is Dr. David Lee. I'm just going to dive into some topics, doctor, okay? Okay, summer's here. We spend a lot more time outside. Let's talk about heat stroke. What's the one thing people need to know about heat stroke? And well, first of all, tell us what heat stroke is.
Yeah, so heat stroke is pretty much when your body overheats or gets too hot.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of reasons why that can happen, but
Which are?
typically...
Give me a couple.
Especially being in California, because the temperature is so hot, just being outside in a hot environment,
Okay.
and actually exercising as well, or overdoing it. So typically that combination will cause your body to overheat. And as that happens, or if that happens for a certain extent of time, they can affect different organs in your body and cause a lot of symptoms and whatnot.
Okay, what are the signs and symptoms of overheating? Because we can all be outside, and if you and I were outside playing football, you know, I break out into a sweat and I start breathing heavy because I'm working out. That's just working out a little bit. What is overheating? What do we look for?
So the major sign of heat stroke would be a core body temperature of over 104 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
And then once it reaches that temperature, that's when you start getting a lot of the symptoms. So
Which are?
if you start from the head, you can have brain symptoms, and that'd be more confusion, where someone might not know where they are or what's going on. And to that other extent, you can actually have loss of consciousness.
Okay, so people pass out from heat stroke.
Exactly.
Okay, so a little bit of confusion, loss of consciousness. What else?
Your heart rate can elevate.
Okay.
And you typically breathe a little bit faster.
Okay.
You can have nausea and
Okay.
vomiting.
Okay.
Headaches are also very common as well here.
Okay, so just say somebody, you and I are in the park, I'll be the guinea pig, we're at the park and I start having some of these symptoms. What do you recommend me to do?
The most important thing is that you're having to stop the person. So getting them out of the sun, maybe
Okay.
getting them in shade, having them lie down is probably important. And
Okay, lay down horizontal.
exactly, yeah.
So we don't need to have our head up a little bit, just lay down flat. And then do you recommend water? Or would
Exactly.
water, I mean, if somebody has heat stroke and they are vomiting, will giving them water make them vomit more?
You know, you can always try a little bit of
Okay.
water and see how they're doing, but you don't want to force anyone to drink water to...
Okay, but do you invite them to sip it instead of guzzle?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so don't chug it, sip it. Is there anything else we look for in regards to symptoms of heat stroke?
Well, those would be the major ones there.
Okay.
So that,
Do you recommend us going to urgent care, or do you think just get in the shade, lay down, you know, if you can, cold compresses, an ice pack on the head or something? You just want to bring the
Exactly.
temperature down.
exactly.
And if you feel that you become normal and regulated, do we come to urgent care, or do we think we're okay?
You know, I would still go to the emergency
Okay.
room just because heat stroke is actually a medical emergency.
Okay.
So, it'd be something that would need to be evaluated immediately.
Now let's talk about dehydration. Same thing. Are some of the symptoms of dehydration vomiting, headache? What else?
So with dehydration, a lot of times you'll feel lightheaded.
Okay.
A lot of times people will feel very dizzy.
Okay.
Again, your heart rate tends to elevate a little bit faster when you're dehydrated.
And symptoms are the same for men and women.
Exactly.
In regards to, you know, like as I was saying earlier, you know, and we'll talk more about the pool, but if I spend the entire day in the pool, am I hydrated, or do I still need to drink water? Because I'm wet.
Yeah. So, I mean, you'd still need to drink water to
Okay.
stay well hydrated. So,
And we're not saying drink pool water, we're
Ex-
saying just drink water.
exactly.
How much water do you invite us to drink every day? Let's start with every day.
So generally about 64 fluid ounces is what's recommended.
How many glasses is that?
So that's about 8 ounces of water.
8 ounces, and is that, what, about a liter?
Yeah, so about 8 ounces of water per day.
Okay, 8
Or
ounces per day. In regards to...
Or 64 fluid ounces.
In regards to it being, and how many glasses is that? That's 8, right?
8 glasses, yeah.
In regards to it being summer, how much more do you want us to drink?
Yeah, so let's say if you're going to exercise or if you're going to do some outdoor activity,
Okay.
I'd say probably an hour before working out or doing your activity, probably try to drink about 15 to 20 ounces or like a bottle of water
Okay.
before.
Okay.
And then maybe 20 minutes before drink, have another sip of water, and then maybe every 15 minutes while you're working out, just take a few sips of water here.
Okay, and when doctor, you say sips, why do you invite us to sip little bits of water when we're working out a lot instead of drinking lots?
You know, if you were to overdo it and drink too much water, that would oftentimes induce vomiting, and people will feel much more nauseous. So, you know, it's a better idea just to take it a little easy, kind of slowly with the water intake.
You know, with summer, staying on the topic of hydration, you know, people have a lot of pool parties, people have a lot of barbecues, picnics, and a lot of people will be out in the sun drinking sodas. They will be drinking alcohol, beverages like that. Is that enough hydration, or do you say you've got to drink water?
You know, I would really push for more of the water.
Okay.
You know, alcohol and sodas typically tend to dehydrate you a little bit more. So it actually kind of does the exact opposite of what we'd want to do.
Is that because of all the sugar and all the other ingredients that kind of sucks the moisture out of you?
Exactly. So sodas would have caffeine, and that would cause, and that's more of a diuretic.
Okay.
And kind of similar with alcohol too, has a diuretic effect as well.
With the heat in the summer, do you recommend not drinking as much caffeine because it dries you out more?
Exactly.
Okay. So if you're going to have a cup of coffee, just make it a single shot, not a double. More with Dr. Lee and all you need to know about summer health, wellness, and prevention when we come back. Don't go away. Welcome back to Healthline. I'm Gregory Zarian, and the entire conversation is about how to be in summer and if you get hurt, what do you need to know and what do you need to do? And drink a lot of water. And if you're one that drinks lots of sodas, that's not hydrating you, it's dehydrating you. So just have a lot of water. And if you're playing out in the park and you are hanging out with friends and you get dizzy or lightheaded and you feel like you're going to vomit or pass out, lay down, take sips of water, and go to your local urgent care. Here we invite you to go to Glendale Adventist Medical Center's urgent care department. Joining us is Dr. David Lee from GAMC Family Health. Doctor, let's dive into some other heat rashes. You're out in the sun and you get a heat rash. Let's talk before that about sunscreen. What SPF do you recommend?
So in general, I'd recommend an SPF of 30 or above.
Okay.
And I'd also recommend more of a lotion or a sunscreen that would actually cover for kind of a broad spectrum.
Broad spectrum. And same thing if you're in the pool.
Exactly.
And at the beach, reapply how much?
Yeah, you know, it really depends on how much you're sweating and kind of what kind of sunscreen that you have.
Okay, because with zinc in there, there's more of a blockage.
Exactly.
But what say every couple hours?
Yeah, I'd say after coming out of a pool, then I'd probably reapply again.
Okay.
Or if you're starting to sweat more, or if you start noticing that the lotion's actually kind of dissolved away or dissipated away, then I'd do another reapplication.
Doctor, do you recommend lotions over other types, like the spray and the oils and all of that?
Yeah, so I mean, I'd like something that goes directly onto the skin as opposed to more of a spray.
Okay.
A lot of times with a spray, you don't actually know whether you actually have coverage.
Okay.
So I do recommend more of a lotion or an oil or whatnot.
Okay, SPF 30, more of a lotion, reapply a couple times quite a bit during the day. Heat rashes, though. There's a lot of people that, like it's summer and there's a lot of music festivals and things going on. A friend of mine, she went to one of the music festivals here in Los Angeles and broke out in a heat rash. But she did have sunscreen on that. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, although you still have the sunscreen, you can actually still get heat rashes.
Okay.
So sometimes the skin doesn't breathe properly, and
okay.
That's when we begin to see the effects of heat rashes.
But then a lot of that as well is when you use more of an oil-based sun protectant thing, right?
Exactly.
What do you recommend if somebody does get a heat rash?
You know, if someone does, then I'd use a good moisturizer afterwards.
Okay, moisturizer afterwards.
So there's lots of general ones. Aquaphor would be great, Aveeno.
Okay.
You can also do like calamine lotion, oatmeal baths would also be good.
Okay, to take away.
Exactly.
Okay, and also cover up.
Exactly.
And if you're prone to heat rashes as well, there's some great companies out there that make sun protected clothing. So pay attention to that, because even if you're driving on the freeway or outside, your skin is always open to the sun. So just apply a lot more and be more aware of your surroundings. Throw on a hat, throw on a baseball cap. as much as people sometimes joke about it, open up that umbrella. Protect yourself.
Exactly.
We talked earlier, and you said kids with broken bones. Lots of broken bones during the summer and sports injuries. How do we prevent that?
You know, especially for kids when they're doing a lot of activities or sports-related injuries, I think it's really important that the children know kind of what sport they're playing and knowing the rules.
Okay.
Another thing is that they're kind of emphasized to know their surroundings. So a lot of times what I see is a lot of children coming in with concussions, and someone's just, a lot of times that's because they run into another player or whatnot here.
So they go from one game to another. And I love that you said, because you never think about it, is I have two awesome nephews, and we were just together at a picnic, and these kids were coming into our game and then going out to other games, and the youngest, Christian, was playing a game, and there wasn't a lot of information as to what he was doing, but he was running. So if you're playing a game with a bunch of kids and you don't know what it is, just go, hey, what are we doing? What are the rules, and how do we play?
Exactly.
And also be on the lookout for each other, because a lot of kids just go hard. Pay attention. You know, look at where kids are going and running, and see where the ball's always at. And also one thing too is, kids, let your parents know, hey, I'm going to go over here, or I'm going to go over there. That's super important.
Exactly.
Somebody breaks a bone and they are playing with kids. What do you invite them to do immediately?
You know, if someone were to break a bone, definitely get them out of that situation.
Okay.
Another thing would be just to immobilize whichever part that they may have broken or injured here.
Okay.
I'd ice immediately.
Okay.
And I'd make sure that they get immediate medical attention.
Would a broken bone be urgent care or emergency, or it could be both?
I would say more of an urgent care injury. So if it's a severe type of pain where it's, the pain seems out of the ordinary, then I would definitely have them go to the emergency room here.
With broken bones, does vomiting come with it and stuff like that as well, and passing out, depending on how bad the break is?
It can happen, but it's not as common to see with broken bones.
Okay. And one thing too is don't self-diagnose. If you have, no matter what, go to the doctors. If your limb is hanging the other way, you're in trouble. So go to the doctors. And kids, like I said, don't pretend that you know the answers to it, and don't pretend that you are a doctor. Get the closest parent. Before we dive into the next segment, pools, doctor, what is your thought on pool safety?
Yeah, so I think it's really important that there's someone watching. So making sure that you're always having someone with you at all times. If you're going to a swimming pool, making sure that there's a lifeguard on duty is another very important thing.
Throw on sunscreen. And one thing that I want to say that we've talked about on Healthline before is parents, if you have a pool and you have kids that are younger, put up a gate or a fence.
Exactly.
You know, because that's 1 second of a horrible accident. So have a gate and always make sure that somebody's watching you. And if you don't know how to swim, don't get in the pool. Just be aware, and adults, same thing. If you don't know how to swim, adults, make sure that there's someone there that knows what's going on, because one thing that we've talked about here on Healthline as well is that if somebody gets in the pool and they're not a strong swimmer, they panic. And most people drown from panic, not from the fact of being like, okay, I'm in the pool and I'm not a very strong swimmer. More with Dr. David Lee and what you need to know about staying safe in parks and on a hike, and what happens if you get bitten by a snake. Don't go away. Welcome back to Healthline. It's summer, and we're here to give you all you need to know about having the healthiest summer possible. Joining us from Glendale Adventist Medical Center is Dr. David Lee. Dr. Lee, where can people find you before we dive into this last section?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm currently working in the Montrose Clinic with the Adventist Health System. I'm doing family practice there.
Fantastic.
The clinic was running as an urgent care. It actually still has an urgent care side to it, but they recently started a family practice portion to it, and I've been part of that for the past half year or so.
Urgent care family practice. And let me just say one thing too, though. Families know exactly where your local hospital is. Know the specialty of the hospital. Know where your urgent care is. Tell your friends and your family, and especially your children, where they need to go. Because if they get hurt and they're taken here, but they should go over there, it's just spending too much time not getting to exactly where you need to go. Summer, I'm going to give you laser round. We were talking a little bit about being in the park and sports and sprains and all that. Talk to us about what to do if you sprain your leg or hurt yourself.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is preventing them from actually even happening. So one thing is making sure that you're taking that time to warm up or cool down every day.
Okay.
So maybe spending 10 minutes doing each of those is really important to prevent that from happening.
So warming up meaning doing some stretching.
Exactly.
You know, instead of running that sprint, slowly jogging into that sprint. And then cooling down, just stopping and just stretching.
Exactly.
Because all we do, I mean, there's new things everywhere about stretch labs and stretch facilities. Just about allowing your body the time to heal, to gear up, to then calm down afterwards. Talk to us about sprains of the ankle.
Yeah, so sprains of the ankle are more like ligamentous
Okay.
injuries to the ankle. They're not broken bones or anything like that. But typically for ankle sprains, it's more rest, icing, elevation, compression, then early range of motion exercises, and then kind of weight bearing is tolerated.
And if you sprain your ankle, how much time do you invite the patient to stay off their ankle full force?
You know, everyone's kind of a little bit different,
Okay.
but generally at least a week or two.
Okay.
And depending on how severe the ankle sprain is, it may be up to 4 weeks or even a little bit longer.
Okay, but definitely ice it and keep it elevated.
Exactly.
And then, as you were saying earlier, spell out the alphabet with your ankle,
Exactly.
your foot too, to bring back some of the mobility. Because the more you compensate, the more you overcompensate on one side, you're going to have to bring both sides back together to work out. Somebody goes on a hike and they get an insect bite or bit by something out in nature. What do you invite them to do?
Yeah, so a lot of times, depending on what you're bitten by, most of insect bites or whatnot are generally more localized allergic reactions.
Okay.
A lot of times people have itchiness and kind of redness and swelling over the area. If they were to develop that, then I'd use a little bit of ice to help decrease the swelling. And if they start noticing some itchiness, then taking a Benadryl or Claritin can definitely help with those symptoms as well.
And some people can be allergic to insect bites. And if you're unsure, then go to an allergist and find out, because then you would need to bring, you know, an EpiPen and all that other kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Always be aware of what you have. And one thing, too, is if somebody gets bit by a snake, what do they do, Doc?
If someone were to be bit by a snake,
Yes, sir.
So I think the most important thing is if you were bit by a snake, just to be calm.
Well, people panic, don't they? There's a lot of, and I read once that rattlesnakes, especially with where we are here in the mountains of Glendale in Los Angeles, is snakes respond to fear. And as I was doing a little research in regards to this, if you go on a hike, bring a black Sharpie, and if you do get bit by a snake, circle where the bite is and write down the time. And then if you're waiting for help and you're feeling a little nauseous, like if it's 3 p.m., bit by a snake, 3:10, feeling nauseous. So if, worst case scenario, you pass out, the person that finds you will know exactly what happened, because the farther along the bite is, the more in trouble you're going to become. Also, one thing too that I want to throw out there that we've talked a lot about is if you go on a hike or you stray away from home, in your wallet or on your person, just have a small medical card with the medicine you take, if you have allergies or something, and an emergency contact number.
Exactly.
People leave all the time with no contact numbers, and we hear that people get lost. Doctor, talk to us about, you're playing out and you end up eye infections. Talk to us about eye infections.
Yeah, so there's lots of different eye infections. So typically you can have viral infections, bacterial infections, and oftentimes, especially this time of the year, we have allergic reactions
Okay.
with eye infections. If it's more of a viral or bacterial infection, preventing the spread of that's very important through hand hygiene, washing your hands regularly, making sure that you're not touching your eyes too much here.
And in regards to allergies, if you don't know what you're allergic to, go to an allergist. In regards to hand prevention and sharing, like people share the sodas, don't share Cokes.
Exactly. So, I mean, just to prevent the spread of any kind of viral illness or whatnot, it's very important.
What about cuts, scrapes, and burns?
Yeah, so those are all, very common as well. So a lot of times cuts and burns can actually get infected, so it's important that it's being addressed appropriately.
Last question, doctor. Talk to us about what families and what we need to have in a first aid kit.
Yeah, in general, just some basic stuff would be Band-Aids and alcohol pads. Betadine would be great. Some gauze, like an antibiotic ointment, would also be very helpful in there.
Aspirin.
Aspirin.
And depending on who you are and if you have any other physical ailments, have all of that in your first aid kit.
Exactly.
Doctor, final thoughts from you to families in regards to having a really healthy summer.
Yeah, so in general, number one would be using the sunscreen would be very important. Whenever you're exercising, making sure that you're warming up and cooling down.
Sunscreen on the lips, big SPF, lips burn.
That's very important, and sunglasses too, just to
that.
protect the eyes as well. Other things I would recommend would be making sure that you're staying well hydrated. So if you're going to be working out, making sure that you're taking that extra glass of water to stay hydrated here.
And also eating healthier too.
Exactly.
As we talk about here at Healthline, it's always about eating a healthy diet. Doctor, thank you so much. Okay, so you heard from Dr. Lee, who's located in Montrose Family Practice, urgent care and family practice. Be hydrated, lots of water. Pay attention. One thing that we are super emphatic about here at Healthline is knowing who you are and what you're about. As I said earlier, write down if you have any allergies, write down any medications you're taking. If you're going on a hike, let your family or your boyfriend, girlfriend know, because you could be out in the mountains and not feel good and sit down and pass out. Always have someone know where you're going. If you're playing a game, find out what the rules are. You can avoid a lot of summer accidents by just asking questions. Our mission here at Healthline is to make you the healthiest you can be. The most important conversation you're going to have is about you and your health, so why not have one now? And remember, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel at GAMC Healthline. Follow us on Facebook at Glendale Adventist, Twitter at GAMC Health, and of course on our LinkedIn page, Glendale Adventist Medical Center. For more information, visit us on the website. And again, don't forget we have a new look, new name, same mission, same heart. Gregory Zarian, see you next time. Have a great summer.